This is Shieldwall, a game where we play as the famous Roman conqueror Gaius Julius Caesar. And as you might expect it, this is a game about warfare. Lots and lots of warfare. We do that by capturing flags to get gold, using that gold to buy upgrades and to hire more soldiers, using these to kill our enemies on the battlefield and to capture their points so they earn less money, so we can defeat them in a final fight. At least in theory. In this video I'm going to present to you how I played through all the 16 missions while getting a gold badge on every mission while killing several people in the process. You receive a gold badge when you ultimately defeat the enemy before the timer runs out. Otherwise you would just receive a silver medal for winning by team points. Just before I start, it is important to note that the missions aren't that historically accurate besides the general things. So without further ado, here's the story of beating Shieldwall. We start in Act 1, which covers the Gallic War. We begin with the first mission, the Battle of Arras. It is 58 BC and the Gallic War just started. This is Caesar and these are the Helvetii. Caesar just became governor, but shortly after that he found out that the Helvetii were planning to migrate to western Gaul because of Germanic tribes. Due to the fact that the Romans believed that this could weaken the Roman control in Gaul, Caesar didn't like this. So when the Helvetii asked for permission to cross through Rome on their way to Gaul, Caesar stalled time so he could destroy the bridge crossing the river and constructed 30 kilometers of fortifications. Once that was done, he denied the request of the Helvetii. This caused them to take a different route through the territory of some tribe and across the river Arras. When Caesar heard that the Helvetii were taking a different route, he sent his forces to attack them while they were traveling to western Gaul. And the Romans caught up to them as they were crossing the river Arras. Only a quarter of the Helvetii hadn't crossed the river yet, so Caesar knew it was the perfect time to strike. Let's start with realizing that we do not play as Caesar and instead play as Mark Antony. After that I started to recruit soldiers and took a brief look at the map. As we can see, there are two enemy groups. Team Purple, Team Green and I, Team Red, do all have a fort in this mission. We also get a lot of gold per flag, so I started to head to point F, where I immediately got into a fight with Team Purple. After telling my men to attack them, I started to throw spears at the enemies and I was able to win that fight, for the cost of half my army. Great. I captured that point and headed to the next point where I ran into Team Green. Now you may ask why I turned instantly as I saw that Team Green was coming. Well, this is because Team Green had already captured this flag, which would allow them to respawn units while fighting at the flag. And for most of the times it is simply impossible to win a fight against so many units. But thankfully Team Purple had already attacked Team Green, which made it possible for me to sneak up behind them and steal their flag. In this fight I got an upgrade for a unit I bought earlier, the Standard. The Standard is a unit which isn't really there to fight, but is instead a unit which gains XP for the kills you do during battles. When the Standard levels up, you can choose to level up different kinds of stats that you and your army are going to get as long as the Standard is alive. In this mission I decided to go with more damage and won the battle. Before I continue, I have to say that I already watched some gameplay of this game as a child, so you aren't surprised that this is really obvious that I already had some experience in the game. In the next minutes I bought an upgrade to increase the limit of units while recapturing flags, and I also lost my first battle against Team Green. After that defeat I rebuilt my army as a part of Team Green's army was chasing me, something which would happen not just this time. While recapturing flag F I witnessed that half of Team Green's army simply didn't want to fight, which made it possible for me to recapture flag F. After this interesting event I bought the second upgrade, which made Standard a special unit, the Standard main sign, also called the Horn. The Standard main sign first lets you choose between 3 huge stat upgrades, from which I choose flag capture speed. After selecting one of these, the Standard gets a Horn ability, which doubles all stats for a short amount of time. After I had most of the flags, I made it my goal to capture Team Green's fort, for which I would first have to destroy a gate before capturing the flag. To my surprise, the gate was already destroyed, because it seems that Team Purple already tried to capture it. Because the gate was broken, it was really easy to capture the fort, which meant that Team Green had no base left besides the unsecured flag. flags. Now I wanted to defeat Team Green, because if they have no flags left and they die while not having one, they are out. To prepare myself, I bought upgrades to be able to recruit legionaries, the strongest units I could recruit. I headed back to Flag D to recapture it, and luckily Team Green had the same plan and I was able to defeat them. After 2 more attempts from Team Green to recapture their fort, it got intense. I walked to Flag B to capture the last flag from Team Green. As I walked to the flag, I saw in the distance that Team Green tried to capture my fort. Me realizing that I couldn't capture Flag B and be there in time to defend my fort at the same time, sprinted to Flag D but just got the flag to the point to where it was grey. I wouldn't get any money, but Team Green also couldn't respawn. After that I sprinted to the fort with my army, praying that the gate would hold long enough. And as I was about to reach the fort, the gate broke and I needed to hurry so that Team Green couldn't capture the point. And just in time my army and I arrived and killed Team Green before they captured my fort. Now it was just me and Team Purple. I captured Flag B, and while I was doing it, Team Purple saw the opportunity and captured A. At first I panicked until I realized that they were about as dumb as me and did the same as I. After some fights about the remaining flags, I bought the last upgrades and pushed Team Purple back to the last remaining flag. In a fight about the flag I maxed out my standard, which I only focused on damage. I barely lost the battle but instantly recruited new units and was easily able to capture the final flag because they had no gold left. And with that I had the first gold badge. Yippee! Now it is time for mission 2. The Battle of Vosges. The Battle of Vosges took place in 58 BC because of a growing conflict between Caesar and the Germanic king Ariovistus. The fight took place between the Germanic tribe of the Suebi and Julius Caesar with 6 Roman legions. A year ago, Ariovistus was declared a friend of the Roman people. For that reason, Caesar couldn't attack them without a reason. Because of that, Caesar made some heavy demands against the Suebic and Ariovistus. Of course he declined, and for that reason Caesar was happy that he had justifications to attack Ariovistus. Let's start the mission with a look at the map again. Team Orange, Team Purple and I all have a base, which guarantees us lots of gold. The goal for me was to hold the middle flag for a while, and then I wanted to capture the enemy's bases. Let's implement the strategy now. At the beginning of the mission there was a huge brawl for the middle flag, to which I came out as the winner. After another successful fight for the middle flag, I take a tragic loss while all of my soldiers are getting killed. After recruiting as much soldiers as I could, I ran past the fight for the middle flag and instead tried to destroy the gate of Team Orange's base. After successfully doing that, I ran back to recapture the middle flag. Then I rebuilt my army and defeated Team Orange at the flag. What now follows is a really chaotic fight for the upper hand. When I saw that Team Purple came for the middle flag, I abandoned it to capture Team Orange's base. I did this actually successful, and because Team Orange lost the fight against Purple, they were out. Then I noticed that Team Purple was going for my base, so I went for there. Unfortunately, while trying this, 2 of their defenders threw 2 spears into my body, which caused my hero to die. Upon respawning, I could only recruit a couple of units because most of my army was still trying to capture Team Purple's base. When I saw that most of my units were running towards me, I thought that my plan of capturing the base had failed. But Team Purple was already at my fort, so my only option was to fight with the limited soldiers. After defeating them, I realized that Team Purple's base was captured by a few soldiers of mine, so I quickly ran to the middle flag to get control over the map by capturing the middle flag. And without getting distracted, I was able to capture the middle flag shortly before Team Purple arrived. After capturing the middle flag, I slowly farmed gold for the upgrades until I finally broke down the gate. And shortly after that, I captured the final flag and got the second gold medal. Let's start with mission 3, the Battle of the Sabres. It is 57 BC and Caesar conquers more land in Gaul. He does this with his 8 legions. While doing this, he fought against an association of Belgian tribes, which are mainly the Nervi. And that's all the background info I'm gonna give, so let us begin with the mission. As always, I started by maxing out the size of my army and with a look at the map. As we can see, we have 3 enemies, the Atrebats, the Nervi and whatever the hell they are called. In addition to that, we can see that the middle flag has a red star besides it, which means that we could not spawn any units at the flag. But I immediately saw that this flag also gave just 60 gold per minute, which doesn't really make it that interesting to capture over the long run, considering that the other teams would likely gonna go for it. But for the start I wanted to get some extra money before trying to capture the enemy bases. Immediately the other teams were fighting for that flag, and through holding back my army I could capture the flag. Now you should see that the wagon where the flag was on was moving to my fort, which would make it easier to defend. But this came with a small downside because every team was trying to capture my flag. After some really big fights, the flag was captured by Team Orange and I had only gotten the standard and the bigger army upgrade. Was this a worthy trade? I don't know. But I definitely know that it was a horrible trade to lose my entire army while trying to attack Team Orange's bases. God freaking damn it! After that horrible attempt, I tried to capture Team Green's base, and surprise surprise, it actually worked. In addition to that, Team Green lost in the battle for the middle flag, and so they were out. It's important to note that the strategy I would use to capture bases mainly consisted of running for the flag when the gate was destroyed, and then I would command my soldiers to do a defensive formation so less spears from the defenders would hit. But now, what happened next? I defended my base while I unlocked the standard main sign. This time I choose attack speed. After that I tried to capture Team Pink's base multiple times without success. But after that I tried to capture Team Orange's base, which also failed. Fuck! Then I had to defend one of my bases, this time with legionaries, but this also had something positive, because I leveled up my standard. I tried to capture Team Orange's base again, this time with success. And I also found a hidden Amphorer. Not that this is important, just so you know. Shortly after that I was able to defeat Team Orange for a final time, and a few minutes later I also captured Team Pink's base. And with that, I got the next gold medal. Yippee! Now it is time for mission 4, Britannia. And to be honest, I didn't really found much to the battle in Britannia. All I know is that Caesar wanted to conquer more, so I'm just gonna skip the historical part. Now to the mission itself, and let's just say that now I actually played as Julius Caesar, and that this mission is probably one of the easiest missions in the entire game. Why? Let's take a look at the map. When we see that Team Blue has a base that gives 240 gold per minute, it doesn't look like this is going to be easy, right? At first I thought the same thing, until I realized that the other two teams are complete shit. This is because after I defended the first flags, they tried to capture flag E, where they are going to fight Team Blue. While they did this, I could easily capture their flags, and not even 5 minutes in, these two teams were already defeated. Now you might think, how should I defeat Team Blue? And the reason couldn't be simpler. I just needed to capture flag E, and now they only had their base left. From that point, Team Blue always tries to recapture flag E, a battle which they always lose. And with me getting significantly more gold, I can slowly get all the upgrades while they are gonna continue to throw all the soldiers into the meat grinder. And after 10 minutes of doing this, I bought all upgrades, destroyed the gate and finally captured their base. This was a really easy gold medal, so it was just time that a really hard one followed. Now we talk about the last mission, which covers the Gallic War, the Battle of Alesia. The battle took place in 52 BC and the battle was fought at Alesia between Caesar and Vercingetorix, who united the Gauls to one final battle against the Romans. And because Vercingetorix retreated to Alesia with his army, the battle takes place right there. Now I'm going to start with this mission, and in comparison to the mission before, this is one of the hardest missions in the entire game when you don't have a really good strategy. You want a reason why? Like always, let's take a look at the map. At first glance it just seems like another easy mission, because with flags I'm just slightly getting more gold than Team Green. But I also suspected a thing, because this is the final mission of Act 1 and surely this wouldn't be easy. And after I defeated the first army, I saw this. Yep. The enemies get reinforcements, just like it historically happened. This is bad. These reinforcements weren't just there to annoy me. They were mainly there to spawn at the other side of the map to then steal my flags while I was still fighting Team Green. If that wasn't bad enough, it is also important to note that these reinforcements always spawn every 3 minutes, which means that I also have to be really fast to do at least something before the next reinforcements appear. Now let's see how this attempt actually went. After I recaptured my stolen flag, I bought a horn and waited for the enemies to attack. After I killed them, I was shocked to see that the enemy already had a new army. When this army was defeated, the next reinforcements had already arrived and I had to recapture my flag. After defeating Team Green again, I tried to destroy the gate, and by the pile of bodies you can see before the gate, you can imagine how that went. I repeated the cycle of recapturing my flags, but then I saw an opportunity, because for some reason Team Green was running towards the other flag, which gave me time to capture one of their flags in their base. I was able to defeat Team Green at the flag, but then reinforcements arrived, which I needed to kill, because if I don't, they would capture all my flags. This caused Team Green to recapture their flag D. This cycle continued for around 15 minutes until I made the horrible decision to trade their 2 flags against my 3. When I realized my terrible mistake, it was too late. Now that they were getting more gold and reinforcements, which also get stronger, they defeated me at flag D and then also defeated me at flag E. And with that, I lost. Fuck! Now after this loss I did a bit of research, and after researching I came to the conclusion on what I had to change. The first thing I had to change was rushing, so that the enemy and his reinforcements couldn't get too strong. The second thing I wanted to change was going for gold per minute. In the previous attempt I put all of the standards and experience points into damage, and I picked attack speed as the standard main sign. Now I wanted to pick gold per minute and other path you can skill the standard. With that I would be able to get more gold fast enough before the enemy gets too strong. And the last thing I wanted to change was putting defenders at flag D. I haven't spoken about the defenders yet, but these units can throw spears at the enemy units, and their side effect is that they are also going to slow the enemies down massively. Because for some reason the enemies are going to try to kill the defenders first before capturing the flags. And they are doing this while walking extremely slow. Now let's get to my second attempt. The second attempt starts off pretty similar by me defending my flag from Team Green. After that I sprinted towards the enemy gate to damage the gate as much as possible before sprinting back to quickly kill the reinforcements. Right after that I sprinted back to the enemy gate, destroyed it and captured flag D. Then I killed the enemy defenders to recruit my own 4 and killed the green army more or less smooth. Then I needed to leave the flag to kill the reinforcements. While doing this I bought a standard, and you can clearly see that flag D is getting attacked. Thankfully the defenders do what they are supposed to do and slow the enemies enough so I didn't lose the flag. After these clean spear throws I defended the flag and the standard leveled up and are skilled for more gold per minute. In addition to that I also bought a horn and selected gold per minute. After repeating that cycle of defending I lost against the reinforcements and was forced to spend more money for soldiers. Losing that fight was tragic and it was stressful to win with so little amount of soldiers. But before I could even think about losing flag D, I was relieved to see that Team Green respawned at the flag the reinforcements just conquered. So after even more brawls, I could level up my standard even more and was able to recapture flag C. And after defeating even more reinforcements and defending flag D, I finally starved Team Green out enough so that I could capture the final flag while they were there. With that, I've completed Act 1 while getting a gold medal on every mission. Yippee! Now we are in Act 2 and start with Mission 6, the Siege of Brundisium. It takes place at the time of the Caesar Civil War in 49 BC. I think it happened because Caesar wanted to challenge Pompey the Great, but let's just start with the mission. Let's take a look at the map, and as we can see, we have to defeat 2 other teams which do have the same amount of flags and money as I. It was actually looking quite good, and the main thing I wanted to do was securing flag C and then slowly capture the enemy's flags. But after capturing flag C, I saw that Team Blue was immediately going to try to capture flag C, and because I didn't want to fight, I gave them the flag and so one of Team Purple's flags to then recapture flag C. This plan was immediately shattered as I saw that Team Blue was going to continue capturing my flags. And as I tried to fight off Team Blue, Team Purple captured all of their flags, resulting in them getting way too strong and Team Blue continuing to steal my flags. This ultimately resulted in a quick restart from my side. But this time I tried to work with defenders to slow the enemies down, and I actually defended flag C as I saw that both teams were approaching. After stealing flag J from Purple, I saw that they were going to fight each other, and I used the opportunity to steal both flags from Team Purple. After that they were still trying to recapture their flags, but because of the lack of soldiers I easily defeated them. Now only Team Blue was left and they were already trying to capture my new flags. But I took a gamble and tried to capture the 3 middle flags that give more money while they captured their other ones. I also left 4 defenders to slow them down, and after capturing flag C and F, I was just there in time to defend J. After that I bought a horn for flag capture speed and defended my flags from Team Blue until I lost flag F. After recapturing it, I traded the flag to recapture 2 of theirs, and after defending flag J once again, I captured flag F, and now I had basically won the game. Team Blue had not much money and flags left, and when they tried to capture one of mine, I was there to defend it. And with that, I was easily able to capture Team Blue's last flags, and with that, I had a gold medal. The mission that follows is the Battle of Ilerda. I don't know much about this mission historically, but I know what the Romans were low on resources. Why? Besides trying to research, I also saw this when I first loaded up the mission. Fuck! Let's just say that this doesn't look good. Although we start the mission by receiving reinforcements, we also start with no gold and basically no flags. Naturally, I tried to capture the flag my reinforcements were going for, but after just barely making it, Team Purple already came to recapture the flag. After that I just tried to run from flag to flag while slowly hiring more soldiers. After kind of having a decent army, I tried to defend one of my flags from Team Purple, and to my relief it actually worked. Then I bought the standard and went to destroy the gate, and after destroying the gate and retreating I made a realization. When the gate was destroyed, Team Purple would wait until it is fully repaired. This gave me the idea to hoard more gold while they were waiting inside the castle. So I bought a horn for more gold and blew it whenever I could. In addition to that, I also skilled my standard to receive more gold, and I would immediately destroy the gate again when it was repaired. I did this for a really long time while buying more upgrades, until I tried to lure them out to quickly capture the flag. When I ran into the castle, I tried to capture the flag but was just simply not fast enough. Later I tried to destroy the gate on the other side as well, and it also didn't work. This is when I realized my horrible mistake. Sure, with this strategy I could win by team points and grant me a silver medal, but I would never be strong or fast enough to capture flag C in time. Later Team Purple left their castle to capture my other flags, and when they were trying to capture their now for me captured castle, they succeeded. This meant that I had to restart. And what did I change to win this time? Not much. The only things I really changed were ignoring my reinforcements completely, capturing flag B before trying to capture the castle, and taking flag capture speed as my main sign. The rest I did exactly the same. I lured them out of their castle, ran inside and was now actually able to capture the flag. Although I got a minor heart attack while doing this because my respawned units just decided to spawn in the farthest corner of the castle, so I had to run back to respawn more units there, which risked that Team Purple would recapture the flag. But ultimately I was able to get a gold medal on this mission as well. Yippee! Now it is 48 BC and we play the battle of... what? Caesar wanted to do a fast attack against Pompey. I know that the battle went not that good for Caesar due to various reasons. But look, this mission doesn't seem that bad. We are at the beach and there are only 2 enemies, but it doesn't seem that bad. I wonder why. Ah! This mission introduces one new mechanic, catapults, and these things suck. In this mission it is so hard to just walk around the map without getting constantly bombarded. And without the catapults, this mission wouldn't even be that difficult. It took a few restarts and a bit of luck with which flags Team Blue wanted to capture, and Team Purple wasn't even a big problem because they would never go further than these 3 flags, but the catapults literally drove me insane. I didn't record my mic during this mission because I forgot to unmute it, but the times I sweared or complained about the catapults was literally insane. But now let's talk about a winning attempt. I start the mission by capturing flag B and F while constantly getting bombarded. After that I captured one flag while defeating Team Purple. After that I tried to capture more flags from Blue, but they ultimately choose to chase me around the entire map until I was dead. When I respawned I instantly had to defend one of my flags from Team Blue, of course under constant bombardment. I continued this awesome mission by stealing 2 of Team Blue's flags just to have to defend these flags instantly. But then Team Purple successfully captured Team Blue's last flag, which meant that they were out. For the next minutes, I was just walking around capturing Team Purple's flags until they had only their base left. Now my plan was to defeat Team Purple, so I bought a horn and destroyed one of their gates. As I retreated, the catapults just showed me again why I hated them so much. Shortly after that, I ran into Team Purple's base in hopes of being able to capture it. And luckily, Team Purple was on their way of capturing one of my flags, and as they realized what I was doing, they ran to try and stop me. Unfortunately for them, they were too late and I was able to get the gold medal on this mission. Is what I would have said if the game didn't hate me. As you can see, I have defeated every enemy on screen, and under normal circumstances I would have gotten the gold medal. But for some reason the game didn't stop and continued like there were still enemies left. I ran around for 8 minutes straight, but there were no enemies. This meant that some enemy was still stuck in the ground or some wall, which meant that I needed to restart the mission to get a gold medal. Fuck! After doing this mission for another 30 minutes, I was actually able to receive the gold medal. The only thing which could have gone better would be that I didn't need to do this whole mission twice. Right? And with that, we enter the final mission of Act 2, the Battle of Pharsalus. This was the decisive battle of the Caesar Civil War, and historically Pompey absolutely screwed up in the battle. But let's just start the mission, and what is the first thing we see upon entering the mission? Of course, we see catapults. Let's take a look at the map. As we can see, everyone has the same base, which means everyone has a catapult. In addition to that, there are 4 points where you can't respawn units. If I exit the map, we can also see that Team Purple has a 1.5 gold multiplier. This is of course not that great, but in this mission it is actually not that bad. Why? Because as you can already imagine, the catapults were shredding through my and the enemy soldiers. So it basically just came down to who could throw the most soldiers at the enemy forts. And I would just need to capture one base from an enemy faction, and then I would get the most amount of gold. So let's put that plan into action. I first started by capturing Flag B without interruptions, and then I needed to defend my base from Team Brown. After that, I tried to steal Flag H from Team Brown. Their catapult didn't like this. After restarting and capturing said flags with a bit more success, I tried to destroy Team Brown's gate, which unfortunately failed. After recapturing flags, I needed to defend my base from Team Brown, before trying to recapture Team Brown's base yet again. Their catapult hated this even more, but after trying this the third time it actually worked. And after defeating Team Brown, you know the strategy. I wasn't really sure how many soldiers it would cost to defeat both enemies, but one thing I already could tell: it would take many soldiers from their side and many soldiers from my side. All thanks to the catapults. Was insane. Now, after completing Act 2, we start the first mission of Act 3, the Siege of Alexandria. After my research, I'm gonna say this to shorten what historically happened. The siege happened because of a fight for the control of Egypt between Cleopatra and Ptolemy, and maybe also because Ptolemy ordered to murder Pompey when he fled to Egypt, which Caesar actually didn't like. Now to the mission itself and my awesome strategy. The awesome strategy's name is Sacrifice Cleopatra. This could be seen as a questionable strategy, but first, let me explain. When we take a look at the map, we can see that I have a massive base with 3 flags, and at flag F is Cleopatra. So at first glance it doesn't look that bad, right? But if we look a bit closer, we can clearly see that Cleopatra has just 2 guards, which makes her nothing more than a small distraction. And we can also see that there is no connection between the flags of Team Blue and Team Yellow, which means that they are going to attack my castle from 2 sides at the same time. Now my position doesn't look that great anymore, and if we take an even closer look, we can also see that both enemy teams have a 1.5 gold multiplier, which all enemies have in Act 3. Now my position looks actually really fucking awful. So now, here's my plan. My plan was to sacrifice the castle, and while the enemies were hammering at my gate, I would capture one of the enemy's territories and then I would recapture my castle. And with that I would have already defeated one of the enemy teams. Through doing this, I would regain my castle and capture one part of the map, which would grant me more money. So let's take that into practice. After recruiting my army, I sprinted into the yellow's territory and let them attack my gate. Then I started to seal the yellow's flags while 2 of my flag points were already getting attacked. After capturing all of yellow's flags with the horn of my standard, I tried to recapture flag E inside my castle, but unfortunately Team Yellow was already waiting for us. With no other choice, I had to fight them, and with the few soldiers remaining I had to try to recapture flag E, but I was only able to get a flag grey before I died, which meant that Team Yellow was out but I had no flag in the castle. But then I noticed something. Somehow, and I don't know why, the other teams didn't decide to kill Cleopatra and didn't try to capture her flag. This meant 2 things. 1. Cleopatra is still alive, woohoo! And 2. I still had a flag inside the castle, and with all the money saved up, I was able to unlock better soldiers, and with an entire army of them I was able to recapture flag E, and now had the upper hand in this battle. And after leveling up my standard, upgrading my soldiers once again and multiple times of spending my flags, I captured the enemy's last flag inside the castle. Now it was just time to invade their land, where I can't respawn my units. Because I lost many units after defending my gate the first time, and because the gate has so much health, I let them attack my gate while I captured one of their flags. After killing them once again, I captured yet another one of their flags, defended mine and died while doing it, to then heroically fall from a wall. After even more defending, I tried to capture the last flags from my enemies, and I saw that they were going for my castle. I let them do that, because I knew that the gate had 5000 health, and stole the last flag, to then immediately sprint towards them, praying that the gate would hold, and as I arrived, the gate broke and was able to kill the last enemies, resulting in me getting the gold medal. Now follows Mission 11, the Battle of the Nile. So I do not get overly complicated, the only historical thing I'm gonna say about this mission is this. Ptolemy continued to fight because he wanted to control over Egypt. With that really detailed explanation out of the way, there comes an about as detailed story on how I've beaten this mission. Yeah, and this mission wasn't really anything we haven't seen before. It actually really reminds me of the first mission, but now it's a triangle, and the enemies get 1.5 times the gold. What's also different is that all the flags which aren't enforced, you can spawn new units, which means that all you really do is running around, capturing, defending, and spawning new units. So let me just show you the highlights that happened in the mission. The first highlight happened as I captured Team Purple's fort, because as the flag went to grey, Team Purple's leader was just able to spawn. And after I respawned, I forgot to tell my army to kill him, which resulted in Team Blue capturing Purple's last flag before the leader could respawn again. The second highlight happened when Team Blue gave up their base to capture a different flag, resulting in me chasing them down around the entire map. Another highlight happened when I commanded my army to throw missiles at my enemies 2 times, but I commanded them to throw beside the enemy both times like a complete idiot. And the last highlight happened in the same battle, because during the fight I ran towards my fort because I thought that we lose the battle. Turns out we weren't, but because I ran away, my remaining soldiers began to follow me, and as I turned back, I saw that only Team Blue's leader, their standard, and 3 soldiers were left. So I didn't tell my soldiers to attack them right away. Instead I let my soldiers attack the remaining 3 soldiers from Team Blue, and then I went to capture Blue's remaining flag, while their leader and standard were trying to destroy one of my gates. And as I returned, I saw that they had just destroyed the gate, but they were way too slow to capture the flag in time. And with that, I got the gold medal in Mission 11. Now we talk about the mission which took the most amount of time to complete. Mission 12, the Battle of Nicopolis. Historically, this apparently happened during the Caesar Civil War. I don't know. Read this if you want to know more, because I need to talk more about the mission. As I started the mission and took a look at the map, I already thought that this mission was going to be bad, but how bad it actually was. Oh my... Let's start from the beginning. If we take a look at the map, we can clearly see that every team has the same position in terms of flags. Everyone has a base with a gate and 2 flags adjacent to the base, where you can't respawn units. And if that was it, everything would be fine. But if we take a look on what the AI does, everything is horrible. So let's take a look what each team does. Let's start with our neighbors. Team Pink and Team Purple. These two do basically the same thing. And what is it, you may ask? Absolutely fucking hate me. Oh my god! These two teams have something against the red team because the first thing they do is attacking your base. At first Team Pink does it, and sometimes immediately and sometimes a bit later Purple follows. In addition to that, they are constantly going to steal flag B and H from you. But do you wanna know why this is so bad besides the obvious reasons? They get more gold than me. It's as simple as that. To Team Blue, I'm gonna get later, because now for me it was time to figure out how to defeat Team Purple and Team Pink. I tried everything to defeat these teams, from trying to mostly defend flag B and H, which didn't work, from trying to rush one enemy down, which kinda worked, but then the other one became too strong for me to defeat. I even tried to completely ignore my base and just try to capture as many middle flags, and I hopefully don't need to explain anyone why this didn't work. At some point I tried a 30-minute attempt just to see if anything would change. It didn't. After heroically jumping from a bridge after I lost all my flags, I was awarded with these results. I had the least amount of team points, I had no money, and barely any upgrades. After seeing these horrible results, I knew I needed to do something. And for this reason, I looked up a guide. After trying this mission for nearly 2 hours, I just wanted some progress. And after watching the guide, I had a working strategy to at least defeat Team Pink and Team Purple, and hopefully also Team Blue. So now, let me present the strategy. After watching the guide, I realized the reason why my base was always getting attacked first. You know, Team Blue had defenders at their base, which I completely forgot. And what would you rather attack? Is it a gate to a base which is completely undefended, or a gate where 5 to 6 people are behind constantly throwing spears at you? I definitely know my answer. And what is the solution to that problem? Spawning 4 defenders at my own base. It is as simple as that. Let's continue my explanation of my strategy with another look at the map. After setting up the defenders, I would capture flag B and F to then capture flag H. After doing that, the strategy would mostly evolve around me being really focused, because by that point in the mission I mainly have to make quick decisions to not lose too much flags against the enemies. But one thing I need to talk about before getting into the actual attempts is the fact that I need to defeat Team Pink and Purple quick. This is because Team Blue is going to get strong, and I mean really strong. One thing I haven't told you yet is that I'm likely not gonna try to capture flag D and F, because Team Blue is never gonna go further than these flags after capturing them, which means that they are immediately gonna capture these flags after getting back to their base. But this also means that Team Blue is not gonna try to capture any flags that are further away until around the 30-minute mark. After this amount of time has passed, Team Blue is gonna try to capture your other flags, and by that point they've hoarded so much money that they are basically impossible to defeat when you try to do that. What this all basically means is that I need to finish the mission before the 30-minute mark, or it is gonna be nearly impossible to get a gold medal. But now, let's start with the attempts where I actually reached something, because I don't know, getting even a somewhat successful attempt took around an hour. In this attempt, I spawned 4 defenders and continued with capturing flag B, F and H. Shortly before capturing H, I bought the standard so I could earn a bit more money. After that I recaptured flag B, as I saw the opportunity while the enemies were fighting. After I recaptured flags again, and after upgrading my standard, I increased my army to then, after fighting again, try to capture Team Pink's base. Unfortunately without success. Shortly after, Team Pink tried the same, and I saw how useful these 4 defenders actually were. I think the soldiers had a great time trying to destroy the gate while constantly getting shot at. Truly an awesome experience. In hindsight, I think that Team Pink's brains were still damaged after this encounter, because they just simply left their base while the gate was destroyed, while I was right beside them. But thanks to that I was able to capture their base. In this base I left 4 defenders as well, and after a few minutes Team Pink was defeated. Unfortunately, Team Purple has captured my fort while I dealt with Team Pink, so I needed to spend precious time to capture it back. The next minutes were spent slowly getting the upper hand through capturing more and more flags. When I felt confident enough, I tried to capture Team Purple's base, but unfortunately I was only able to destroy the gate and to get the flag grey. Team Purple tried the same with even worse results, but I was able to arrive at their base just milliseconds before the gate was repaired. Because of that, I now had 3 out of 4 bases under control, which gave me hope to actually get a gold medal in this attempt. After hindering Purple to recapture a base, I turned their last flag grey to then sprint to them while they tried to destroy one of my gates. Luckily, I was there in time. Now Team Purple was also defeated. Now only Team Blue was left and I had still 8 minutes left before the 13-minute mark. I thought defeating them was going to be easy. It wasn't! After killing some of my defenders to be able to recruit a bigger army, I captured one of their flags to lure them out, to then try to destroy their gate. By that I would have been able to capture their other flag while they would wait until their gate was nearly repaired. Then I could swiftly walk in, capturing the flag before they arrived to then kill them at their once owned flag. It didn't work. I tried again. It also failed. I tried again, and it was too late. Now that the 30-minute mark was reached, there was no way for me to get the gold medal, and so I restarted. The next attempt I defeated Team Purple at around the same time, so maybe I was no. Although I got closer, it was still not enough. Fuck! The next attempt I killed Team Purple when it was still 14 minutes to the 30-minute mark. I thought to myself that this had to be it, and this may surprise you, but I actually won. No, it also failed. As you would already imagine, I was pretty mad. After spending nearly 5 hours at one mission, I was really demotivated. So I just continued and made it my goal to get a gold medal later. So let's continue with the next mission. This is the last mission in Act 3, the Battle of Zella, and I'm just gonna completely skip over it because I was still so demotivated that I only got a silver medal and continued with the next mission first. Yeah. Now after I completed the third act, it was time for the final act in the entire game. The first mission in this act is mission 14, the Battle of Thapsus. This battle apparently happened because some remaining Optimates of Pompey were not ready to give up fighting, so Caesar had to attack them to stop the rebellion. Now before I start, it's important to note that in Act 3 every enemy got 1.5 times the gold. So how much do the enemies get in Act 4? They get 2 times the normal gold. Let's look at the map, and immediately when I saw it, I regained some hope, because this map is actually not that difficult, because you can clearly see every enemy and every flag. Now to the plan, and I immediately knew that I needed to capture their bases while they weren't in there, because with them getting 2 times the gold, I never would be able to defeat them at one of their own flags where they could respawn units. And I also knew that I wanted to focus Team Orange first, because they were closer to me and were also more aggressive towards me. I would also try to capture and hold as much of the middle flags for extra gold. With the strategy done, I started to head towards the middle flag to defeat Team Orange and to capture the flag. After successfully capturing the flag while losing just 1 soldier, I continued to see the flag Team Blue just captured to then fight them at one of my flags. Through that I already earned a lot of gold, so I bought the standard and ran back to my base to spawn new soldiers. After doing so, I captured the last flag, which isn't a base, and fought Team Orange again. Through that, capturing and defending, I had so much gold yet again that I didn't just buy the bigger army size, but also the horn where I picked flag capture speed. After more recapturing and defending flags, it was already time to go on the offensive. I leveled my standard to more damage and I bought a gate breaker and legionary upgrade, and then I already destroyed the gate of Team Orange's base. I wasn't able to capture the flag at the same time, but that was expected. What was more problematic was that Team Blue used the time to capture all of my middle flags, which meant that I needed to capture these flags all over again. I used the time to buy more upgrades and to defeat Team Orange all the time so they can't get stronger. The next time I destroyed the gate, I did not immediately rush in and instead recaptured more flags, and when Team Orange left their base, I used the time to capture their base. After I did that, Team Orange had no base left and just 2 normal flag points. And after defending one of my flags, Team Orange attacked Team Blue, which was not only a terrible idea from their perspective, but this also allowed me to capture their last flag. While Team Orange's last soldiers were still fighting Team Blue, I captured more from Team Blue's flags, leaving them at only their base flag. As they tried to steal one of my flags, I destroyed the gate, and now that they waited for the gate to repair, I could just walk back to them, and as they tried to capture flag C yet again, I again ran to their base, with the only differences being that the gate was already destroyed. As Team Blue realized what I was doing, they yet again stopped to capture the flag to try and stop me, but this time they were too late and I could easily defeat them at the flag, finally leaving me with another gold medal. Now we are at the second last mission in the entire game, mission 15, the Battle of Munda. After defeating the army of Pompey's sons in the Battle of Thapsus, these fuckers went to Hispania and created a new one. God fucking damn it. Could you guys just stop? So now we have to defeat them yet again. So let's take a look at the map. And because I want to actually finish this video at some point and you already know how the game works pretty well, I'm gonna simplify this part. So my plan was to first defeat Team Orange and Blue, and then I wanted to target Team Green. As already in mission 12, Team Green is just gonna capture flag J, K, B and C as long as they have their base flag A. My plan to defeat Team Orange and Blue was simple. All I wanted to do was walk around the map until I was at one of these flags, avoiding fighting as much as possible because I don't know if you've seen it, but I have basically no gold at the start of the mission. This is also the reason why my plan was to run to the other side of the map. It's also important to say that this is a slow mission due to the lack of gold. Now after I was there, I would slowly try to defeat Team Orange and Blue to then, I don't know, spend 30 minutes to defeat them. But now, let's just see how it went. As already said, I moved to the other side of the map while capturing flags in the process. When I was on the other side, I avoided fighting as much as possible while stealing flags from Team Orange. I also tried to capture flag J, which unfortunately did not go in my favor, but because Team Green was able to secure a victory, and because I saw that Team Orange and Blue were going to fight, I took the chance and stole Team Orange's second last flag. And shortly after, Team Green stole their last flag, which meant that Team Orange was out. 6 minutes later of chasing Team Blue around the map, I was finally able to catch up to them while they had no flag, which meant they were also out. What now follows were the most boring 30 minutes of besieging Team Green's base. I'm not gonna explain what happened, all you need to know is that after finally successfully besieging their fort, I was just barely able to catch them before 55 minutes were reached. And with that, I had a gold medal. Now it was technically time to do the last mission, but first I had to get the gold medal in mission 12 and 13. So I first tried mission 13 and I failed. Yeah. And because I kind of had no other option, I tried mission 12, the mission where I almost spent 5 hours on. So it should be pretty obvious that I won. On the first try. Yippee! I don't know what I did different, but I simply don't care. I had the gold medal and this was all that mattered. So now I just had to get a gold medal in mission 14, then I could begin the last mission. But first, let's talk about the historical part, or better said, the things I know about this mission. Then apparently, this was a quick victory of Caesar, where he then said, Vidi Veni Vici, I came, I saw, I conquered. And that's basically all I know, so let's get to the mission itself. And as in mission 15, I'm gonna try to put this relatively short because there is really not much new stuff. Here's the map, and here's what I did. First, I ran around the map in a circle for 2 times, capturing flags in the process. Then I tried to capture this stupid base, which gives the same amount of money as all other flags, but is a pain in the ass to get. After destroying the gate, I realized that Team Green was waiting inside, but with just a few soldiers left, I just attacked. Shortly after, I captured the space, but then I had no other flags, which meant that I had to recapture all flags I had before again. Just a bit later, the last from Team Green were getting captured as they fought somebody, which meant that they were out. Then something strange happened because I was able to capture all flags around the city without getting interrupted once. Then, through some strategic thinking, Team Orange was also defeated. Shortly after, as Team Blue was on their way to capture a flag, I took the chance and captured their main capital. Now, with plenty of upgrades, I began to chase them. After doing this for a while, Team Blue recaptured their main capital. I thought that they were just gonna run from flag to flag again, but apparently no. After I destroyed the flag and captured the flag, I found out that Team Blue was apparently trying to stop me from capturing their flag. And after throwing countless soldiers at Team Blue, they tried to capture other flags. After recapturing the flags again, they tried to capture my base with flag A. I used the time to capture their last flag while they were trying to destroy the gate while spears were thrown at them. Then I swiftly ran to them, killing them to then receive the gold medal. And with that, it was finally time for the final mission in the game. Before we start with the final mission, let me say a few things first. Firstly, the historical thing where and when the mission takes place is when in real life Julius Caesar was murdered. But now in this mission, it's upon us to change that Julius Caesar does not die and instead lives and continues his conquests. Secondly, before starting the mission I did a bit of research to at least have a good strategy which could grant me the gold medal, because when I first started the mission just to see the map, I saw this. Fuck! And the third and final thing I wanted to say is to make this a bit more interesting, I wanted to get a gold medal on this mission with Caesar never dying a single time during the mission. So with that out of the way, let us start the mission. When we start the mission, we spawn in the Senate house, in which there are multiple senators who all want to kill me. While I threw spears at them, reinforcements came to save me. After the reinforcements killed all the senators, they helped me to quickly capture the flag. Now let me quickly explain the strategy. As you can see, we have the flag which gives you the most amount of gold. But unfortunately, this flag is awful to hold because every team is gonna try it and fight for it. So we quickly going to abandon it. After that, our plan is simple. Hold the most amount of flags possible and try to kill Team Yellow and Purple. Why? Because after doing some research I found out that the AI from Team Green is set to Wallkeeper. This means that when they have a flag with a gate, they are always just gonna capture one flag and then go back to their flag with the gate. The other teams will not gonna do that, which is going to turn the game into one where I'm just gonna chase the last enemy. So let's hope that Team Green is going to capture flag A at some point so I can actually win. And the last thing I'm going to do is trying to not capture too many green flags at the beginning of the game so Team Green doesn't get killed. So now let's take that plan into practice. After I hired as many soldiers as possible, I immediately abandoned the base I start, heading to flag K. After capturing it, I spawned 4 defenders so that the flag hopefully lasts longer. After capturing flag J, I ran to the triangle of purple flags so I do not steal too many green flags. After capturing flag C, I sent my soldiers to kill Team Purple's defenders because remember, I didn't want to die as Caesar. But then unfortunately Team Green and Purple came to capture both one of my flags and I ran towards one of Purple's flags because I wanted them to die quick. But then Team Green seemed to hate me or something like that because they also wanted to capture this flag. Now I had to fight a team which I didn't want to fight, and after this fight I hadn't even enough gold to max out my army, which was kinda bad. I continued with stealing Purple's and some of Green's flags until Purple had no flags left. But I had the feeling Purple's army was still alive somewhere, and shortly after I saw their army. Luckily they were heading towards one of my flags while provoking an enemy through a wall. Because of that genius master plan from Team Purple, I was able to kill all of their soldiers, which meant that the first team was out. Now my next target was Team Yellow, and let's just say that this didn't went too smooth. I spent more than 20 minutes chasing this team around the map, while I was just praying that Team Green would engage with them so I could steal Yellow's last flag. While I tried to kill them, Team Green actually captured flag A, which meant that as long as Team Yellow didn't steal it, I could actually win when they were out. During these 20 minutes nothing really interesting happened besides a few things, like that for a moment I had no flags or that I actually needed to steal multiple flags from Team Green so they didn't get too strong. During these 20 minutes I also leveled up my standard so I got more movement speed, and I of course bought more upgrades. But then finally after 20 painful minutes of chasing Team Yellow around, they finally had no flag for a short time. And shortly after they engaged with Team Green 2 times, so one time I stole the flag making some crucial damage, and the second time Team Green gave them the rest, which meant that Team Yellow was also out. Now let's come to my diabolical master plan. I didn't talk about this earlier, but in Shieldwall when someone comes near to an intact gate to a base which isn't his, the gate automatically closes and even the owner can't open the gate. They have to wait until the gate is destroyed or the enemy leaves. In most bases there is some place for the defender to throw spears at you and your soldiers so they can't infinitely wait. But in this base there is no space to throw spears at someone outside, which meant that I could park my units outside, permanently trapping Team Green inside. While they were trapped inside, I could just simply capture all of their outside flags alone without them able to do anything against it. So now that I had captured all outside flags, how do I capture the last one? This is actually quite simple because of the fact that Team Green's AI is set to Wallkeeper. This should technically mean that they are going to stop stop capturing my flags when they realize I captured theirs. And if I'm fast enough, this should give me the gold medal. Before showing you what happened, you need to know that I had just one try of doing this, or else it would be very likely that I die if I fail. But now, I'm just gonna show you what happened. Yes. I've won, yes! And with that, I've completed every mission in Shieldwall with a gold medal. After that, I of course got all the remaining achievements through using a guide, and of course I also wrote a review after getting all achievements, but this is just not important. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this masterpiece of a video, and now watch my Loop Hero video or something if you want to see more content like this. Now, with nothing to add, I'm just gonna say this. Goodbye!